Let's try that again. Hopefully you've got me now. For some reason, I was having all sorts of issues getting live on both Facebook and YouTube at the same time. Can't explain why. So I ditched Facebook for tonight, which, yeah, I've never had problem. If I've ever had problems with getting live, it's typically been on YouTube. But yeah, anyway, I believe everything's going ahead now. I apologize that it took as long as it did. Thank you for joining in. I see that Brad Short and Estevan are in. AJ Anderson is in as well. I'm just trying to, I had to tinker with a lot of stuff. So I'm just trying to get the chats up going, and so I can see everybody here, and hopefully you can all join in. Obviously, I typically say share the show around on your social media. In particular, if you could grab the link for tonight's show and share it around, I would really appreciate that, because there's probably a whole bunch of people trying to watch the original link that are wondering what's going on. So I have just shared it around very quickly on social media. Hopefully you're all on board. So thank you for checking it out, particularly given how difficult things were to get here so far tonight. I'm Dwayne Nichols. You are watching somewhere around the country, only on YouTube tonight, not on Facebook, due to some technical glitch that is beyond my comprehension at the moment. Chris Dickens from WA is in, saying he remembered the time. Yeah, 5 p.m. over in WA. Alex Kith from Thailand joining in, Billy Colias as well. So thank you for you guys who are joining in. Like I say, if you can quickly copy the link, jump over to Facebook, paste it over there. If all of those people who might be looking for tonight's show can find it, I would appreciate that. Whilst I'm going through all of the stuff for tonight's show, please keep an eye over here on your screen for the upcoming events. There's a few that I won't be necessarily talking about in depth during this show, but will be coming up in the next couple of weeks, and I want you to get organized. If you're playing those events, get your regos in nice and quickly. Help your event organizers out. Now, paintballshop.com are the major sponsor of the show, or one of the major sponsors of the show, and they have $50 off Carbon Zero masks for this week only. So if you are looking to pick one of these up, and a few of the guys that were playing here in Wagga over the weekend were wearing these Carbon Zero masks, well, you can save $50, being that they're one of the high-end masks, up above $300 and as high as $399 for some of the limited edition colorways. Well, yeah, saving $50 is well worth it. Don't stress about being late, Chris. G'day, Eden. I was late getting going, so it is not your fault. And if you were trying to find us on Facebook, unfortunately you weren't able to tonight. I apologize that. But yeah, thank you, Alex, for sharing it around with the fresh link for everybody to see. Again, if you're looking to get a Carbon Zero mask, paintballshop.com is the place to go. I was actually joking with someone right before the show started about how unorganized I was this week, and I was sort of a little bit tongue-in-cheek, like I was a bit unorganized, but for the most part I was pretty much ready to go. And then I clicked the go live button right on 8 o'clock, as I always do, and yeah, I don't know what happened, but anyway, we're here now. John O'Collins is here, not right here, he's wherever he is, but he's watching here at the moment, after getting a podium placing here at the Wagga Foreplay over the weekend. So I'll be talking about Jono, and you'll see a photo of Jono. For the Jono fans, you'll be seeing a photo of him in just a little bit. They're becoming popular in Thailand. Well, I think they're fairly popular sort of worldwide. I think Carbon as a brand are just so popular worldwide that there's no reason why they shouldn't be popular for everybody to check them out. David Paul joining in. Thank you for checking out the show as well. Other major sponsor is Gladiator, and they wanted to make mention, which is a little bit of a spoiler for later in the show, but really, for those who watch regularly and for those who are familiar with the scene in WA, it's almost not a spoiler to find out that STK won over the weekend. A flawless local season for the guys over there this year. In fact, it was a flawless event. I'll go into more detail a bit later, but I'm told they did not drop a point throughout the course of the event over on the weekend. So if you want to use Gladiator tanks, much like the guys from STK, go to gladiator.com.au, find your local stockist, and get yourself one. They, as you would be aware of if you've watched this show for any period of time, they have tanks in every size and useful size for every type of player, back players, snake players, whatever it is. If you're the 10 or 12-year-old, wherever you are in the country, that wants to play and needs a smaller tank, they've got that. If you want to go right up to the ridiculous ultralight 122 for scenario ball, well, that is an option as well. Now, couple of things, news to touch on quickly, and a little bit quicker than usual given our late start time tonight. The NXL is looking at a format change potentially for next year, and they will be doing a test at World Cup, which is coming up in a couple of weeks' time over in Florida. The question I'm sort of asking off the back of this is, are you open to a new format or a new game mode when it comes to paintball? To give you the dots point version of what they're talking about doing in this particular format, they will be running 3 points. They will be 4 minutes max. If you win the point in the traditional sense that you eliminate the other team or you get to their start base, you will receive 7 points. So if you win the point, you get 7 points. That's probably sounding confusing for anyone that doesn't sort of follow it. But so yeah, there will be 3 games essentially, or 3 points within the match. And if you win it in the traditional sense like we currently do, you eliminate the other team and or you get to their start base, you get 7 points. However, in that 4 minutes, if it is a stalemate and there is players alive on both teams or potentially just on one team and you don't get to the opposing team's start base, well, in that situation, there will be like a buzzer or a zone that you can capture to earn 3 points. So you can win a maximum of 7, so you can't hold the zone and hang the flag or push the buzzer at the far end. You can get a maximum of 7 if you win in the current sense, or you can get a 3-point format. 3 points in this format if you control the zone. So really, I don't know. I'm not loving it. What I do like is the 4 minute per point time limit. Cutting down the time, all for it. You avoid those super long drawn out points where not much happens. And yeah, Will McDonald just joining in saying, for more details on the new format, I think the new format cuts out concessions. Yeah, it does. And that is one of the other things that I do like, is that there will be no option to towel. So you can't give up a point. And it's really strange. You can't imagine in any other sport really, or nothing that comes to mind that you think soccer, rugby league, AFL, whatever it might be. AFL kind of, you can concede a behind, I guess, to some degree. But in very few examples in sport around the world can you ever just decide, oh, no, we're getting beaten, give them the point. Like that's, yeah, it's pretty strange. And pretty unique to paintball. So yeah, I don't know. They're testing it out. 3 points only. And whilst we've done that here in Wagga over the weekend with our Race to 2 format, in a social tournament at a social level for fun and affordable paintball, at a professional level, teams come back from 2 and 3 points down regularly. So I think that if it was 5 points, maybe it might be a little bit more like it. Thomas Hitchman saying all in for new format. Not sure if that's the money. Yeah. No, gridiron. No, punting's not similar to the towel. That's just saying you can't make your 10 yards, but you still, the punt, you don't have to punt. You choose to punt, but that's for field position, right? You're putting them back as far as you can in the field. It's no different in rugby league at the end of the set of 6 to kicking, or in rugby union kicking for field position. That's different. Field position is different as opposed to just giving up points. And I know you can score points off of penalties in other sports, but this is literally in paintball. You just decide, we're probably going to lose anyway. Why even try? That's essentially what the concession is in paintball, which I know can be for time management, but yeah. So I don't know about this format. I guess we'll see. Apparently, there's a few pro and semi-pro teams that will be trying this out in the lead up to Cup. I would hate to see an injury in this play test leading into World Cup. But anyway, I guess we'll see. I will die on this hill. Yeah, you're welcome to, man. It's your hill. So yeah, that's what's going on with the NXL. I guess we'll just wait. I don't expect to see it be widely loved, but what I do like is the fact that Tom Cole and the NXL are looking into new formats. I think the current format could definitely be improved. I think Marcelo talked about doing like a 30-second shot clock. If you score a point within 30 seconds, instead of getting 1, you get 2. All for that. Yeah, any of those little minor things that make the game a bit quicker, I'm all for. And yeah, a towel can save your teammate from getting stitched up. That is also true. But yeah, anyway, otherwise, other news, Dire DLS, if you bought one, of which there's not many worldwide. I think there was 500 initially released worldwide. Well, they had an issue with a number of them with the bolt kit and the back cap. I don't know exactly what was happening. Did speak to Angus Renton, who bought one not too long ago, and he said he didn't have the issue with his in particular, but something was going wrong where the back cap would come dislodged and they couldn't get it back in, and it seemed like a big mess for these Dire DLSs. So if you bought one, and whether you had the issue or not, you can take a photo of the gun on the right-hand side of the marker that shows the serial number. In Australia, if you bought it through paintballshop.com, you can contact them. I don't know who else in Australia would have or could have sold you one, but if you got it elsewhere, contact them. If you include all your details, including the serial number, where you bought the gun, all of those details, for free, you will get the new bolt kit that has addressed the issue that they've had. This is good stuff from Dire. A few companies over time have had to do things. I think it might have been the CS1 or CS 1.5s were having front grips that were snapping, and there was just something in there that they sent out a part that reinforced that. I know other companies have done it in the past too. So yeah, good stuff from Dire, recognizing there's an issue, fixing it, getting it out to the players. So yeah, I can only say that it's a good. Obviously, it's not a good thing that they shipped out 500 markers and a decent portion of which had an issue, but they've addressed it now. So that's good. Wimpy saying, I don't mind the idea of a different format running parallel to the current format. Yeah, and so this is probably on that, just to touch on it one more time. Tom Cole has been working a lot and has been pretty open about the fact that he's working with streaming platforms, with television partners, all types, to try and get exposure to paintball. And with that, you've got to think, if you sat down with a TV executive and showed them the current format of paintball and said, what do you think? Pretty good watching. They'd probably say, nah, not really. And that's not to diss any of the live streams out there, Go Sports, Super Sevens. We're talking about New Zealand in a sec. They did a live stream over the weekend. The live streams are fine. They're about as good as they can be, but they can only capture how the game is played. And at the moment, spectator-friendly paintball is certainly not that. Let's talk about New Zealand. This is a photo of the Expendables. They got the win over there. This photo by either Ralph Singh or Brandon Miller, to be confirmed. Brandon sent it to me, and he said some of the photos that he sent me were by Ralph. So this was either by Brandon or by Ralph. Expendables won, Ballistics Unit second, Phoenix Tahiti, featuring Ralph and Brandon, got third. Brandon was the MVP for the event. Traveling over from Australia, Jesse Burke also making the trip. Brandon sent me the photos, also sent me a bunch of feedback on the event saying it was unreal. Venue's world class, paint was great. There was options of paint, which doesn't often happen here in Australia. And whilst options of paint can be a good thing, I also like the fact at a lot of Australian events, essentially all of them, that all teams shoot the same paint. So if you get something that's not so great, you all get it. Or if you get something that's spot on, again, you all get the same stuff. The buzzer in this new format is meant to be the ball. Yeah, and so covering a zone, I don't hate it. Red zone was a thing once before. I sort of have to go down a whole big rabbit hole that I don't have the time to go down into the format chat. I do like the fact that you could potentially hold the zone and play defensively, and then the other team, if they eliminate you and then they can go and hold the zone, that does draw eyes to one particular location. I like that. But yeah, I mean, there's more to it. KGB is in, and you will also see a photo of him in the not too distant future. But before we do, I want to talk quickly about the event here in Wagga, the one that I know the most about because I was there the whole day. In fact, I organised it. This event over the weekend, 9 teams showed out for this one. Southeast Cartel got the win, mostly Victorian-based players, but also brought down a player from Queensland. So players from Queensland making their way down, I think a 15-hour drive from Brisbane, something to that effect. HBR, second place. Lumberjacks, third place. A few things that I wanted to touch on from this event. The atmosphere is a couple of things that people mention to me about why they either come back or why they're enticed to come to the events here over the weekend. My parents helped out with scoring and running the paint as they have so often in other events. They made comment about the atmosphere. I spoke with my parents on the phone this morning about the pits. When we were packing up the field and stuff, I got to the field this morning, went through the pits again, and I said to my parents, who were sort of doing some of the cleaning up and end of event stuff inside, said, "Did you guys clean the pits?" And mum and dad said they did not pick up one piece of rubbish. They said the bins were full and overflowing, and they had to put a few chairs away, but all the rubbish was up off the ground. It was all nice and tidy. I really appreciate not only are the people that come and play the events here in Wagga so friendly, they're competitive on the field, friendly off the field, but they spend a couple of minutes cleaning up at the end of the event that helps so much. Brandon Miller just joining in at the moment. Thank you for joining in, and you just missed the little mention that you got just a moment ago, or hopefully you didn't. I did not get the milk out of the fridge, Chris. Thank you for the reminder. That'll be off by the time that I get back there. But yeah, a couple other things. The guys from Blade, in particular, coming down from Coffs Harbour and the south of Queensland, massive effort. Really appreciate that. 10 or 11 hours in a car to come down for a social event of paintball where the winner gets nothing more than a glass mug. That's huge. Obviously, teams from Sydney and Melbourne appreciate that too. The Rennies coming over from Dubbo, they're always welcome. As long as I run events, those are the type of people that I want around. Quick shout out to how many women were at the event. Women, girls, however you want to put it, however you want to say it. I think 5 of the 9 teams had women on them. There would have been a 6th team with a woman playing, but she was in a pretty serious car accident, had screws and rods and all sorts of things into her leg off the back of a genuinely scary car accident a week or 2 before the event. Not only was it good to see the women at the event, but speaking with Bree from Coffs, they've started interacting not only at the events, but there's a women in paintball group that they're interacting with now, talking. There is potential at Coffs for an all-women's event. That is something to look forward to next year. And not only, I mean, we're very familiar with having wives, girlfriends on the sidelines, in the pits, all of those types of things. But yeah, on the field and killing it. I think it's Bella, that might be her name, and excuse me if I'm wrong, from Cartel, who was on the winning team from the weekend, played unreal. Beck, who's with HBR, I really like having around. Obviously, Shay with Make It Rain or from Dubbo. Yeah, really like it. Chris Thomas, who was head ref over the weekend, and I dropped Chris home after the event. I didn't mention to him. I actually had a couple of people, including the Lumberjacks. Everyone thanks the refs at the end of the day. But Mike particularly mentioned to me about how friendly the refs were and how good a job they did. So thank you again. We say it's a thankless job, but I think most people go out of their way to try to say thank you to the refs. So yeah, thank you again to the refs on that one. I think everything worked out well. I really like the 4-play format, and I hope that the players do too. Particular cool thing about this event was that I had a videographer here in Wagga contact me a couple of weeks before the event, who has done a lot of weddings, a lot of corporate events, and he wanted to do some action stuff and offered to come down for free and film throughout the day. And himself, so Harley is his name, and Declan, who came along, they're sort of working in a bit of a partnership. Those guys had a ball. They said from filming it, it made them feel like they want to play. And from my discussions with them, I was hoping that the video that they can put together would sort of portray that message too, and try and get people to watch it and want to play. That's the whole idea. Spoke to him this afternoon, and he cut together a little 17-second teaser video I'm about to show you. There'll be a 1 minute-ish video coming out in a few days' time, and potentially next week a slightly longer one. And as far as as a teaser goes, and assuming that a teaser is sent out to make you want to see more, man, I think he just nailed the brief. So check this out from the Wagga foreplay just yesterday. So yeah, there you have it. It's kind of, like I say, as a teaser, it gets to the point where you're like, oh man, this is about to get good, and then they take it away. So yeah, I'm really keen to see what comes of that. Wimpy saying Wagga 3-man, yeah. So January 6, 7. I'm open to the idea if everybody wants to make the journey again and come and play, whether that be the 3-man, traditional 3-man format that we have done for years, or this 4-play format, which I'm getting a lot of great feedback about. If you guys want to be a part of that, I'm open to doing it. John O'Collins saying Chris is the best. Yeah, hard place to get an argument out of me. He only had one run-in with a player over the weekend, and that was pretty short-lived. Thomas saying that was such a tease. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's no other way to put it, really. He just, I think, like I say, it left me wanting to see more. Hopefully it is the case for you guys too, and we'll get that in the next couple of days. And I'll share it around on PBHQ as well as the Project Paintball page. Again, thank you to everybody who continues to support what I am doing. The NXLWA was also on over the weekend. This is a photo of KGB, who was in the chat just a little bit ago. And this was from the previous event, because what I'm going to do, just to show you, is it is currently 8:29, meaning I went live 20 odd minutes ago, and a message that I received on my phone, let's see, at 8:11. Can you see the message from Kayla here? Does the time, is it going to be too blurry? Yeah, hey, so sorry, have been working all day, I won't be home, so might not be able to get you a photo in time. Sorry, Kayla, didn't get the photo to me in time. So I used a previous one from a previous event, but keep an eye out for all of Kayla's great photos. She does an incredible job, like most of the media here in Australia when it comes to paintball events. STK got the win, STK Entourage second, and Plague getting themselves third place for this time around. So whilst that photo is not from the event that happened just this past weekend, it is a great Kayla photo, and there'll be more of those coming out soon, I am sure of it. What did I'm trying to, the comments are sort of like loading super slow back there, and I'm missing some things. So I apologize if you are commenting and I'm missing things, because they are sort of dropping away as I check it out. And Harley, the videographer, I should quickly mention too, from Wagga, he was going to check out tonight's show at some point, whether that be live or after the fact. So if you want to say anything kind about him and the job that he did, I'm sure he would appreciate that. Given particularly, like I mentioned, he did it for free, which is right in my price range. So thank you very much to him. And Will McDonald, if you're still around, I actually put something in the post for you earlier today. Yeah, you should see that towards the end of the week, I imagine. I forgot to send you a text earlier today to talk about that. STK didn't drop a point. Timmy Colgan said the event was great success over there. All wrapped up just after lunch. They ran all 6 teams in one division, rather than splitting them across 2 divisions, as they do sometimes when it comes to finals there. For WA, that's essentially the end of the season. There will be a bit of training to go. Some WA-based players will be heading to Thailand in December, I'm told, for the TXBL. So keep working towards that one. And they're trying to schedule in, which they've been looking to do for the best part of a year now. They've been looking to get stuff happening for their turf. And here comes my co-host, just in time to finish up the show. Have a look over here. We're going to run through this in a sec. Come on here, mate. Ready? So Carter's in again right before bedtime here. Do you want to say hello to everybody?
Hi.
You want to introduce yourself? Say who you are.
I'm Carter.
I'm Carter. Good man. We have to quickly talk. All those events coming up. The HBR 7-man has been reduced to a 5-man event. So there will be 5 players rather than 7 because so many players are heading to World Cup and other events overseas. Watch your fingers there. Watch your fingers. Cheers, mate. Now, the other thing I wanted to quickly mention, the SC Carbon bottoms will be given away. And
Hello.
Do you know, Carter, I'm going to bring up this photo. Next month, November, is the first of the big major prizes for the year. And tanks for your team. Do you think it would be cool to win tanks?
Win tanks?
Yeah, tanks. What do you think about tanks?
Yeah, we can get golden tanks.
Golden tanks. See, Carter thinks of tanks as army tanks, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not talking about army tanks. I don't think Dad has the budget to give away army tanks. We're giving away paintball tanks, though, for your whole team.
Golden team.
But they're also not gold. They're paintball tanks that aren't gold. But yeah, so thank you, everybody, for checking out tonight's show. Do you want to say goodbye with me in a sec? Not right now. Because that's everything for tonight. It has been one full leap year of PBHQ Mondays and other various days of the week due to public holidays and various things that happened throughout the 366 episodes of this show. So thank you again for joining in. Hopefully you can catch me next Monday. There is no events this coming weekend, but November is gearing up to be big. So I hope you'll join me next Monday. Until then, have a great week. Say bye.
Bye.
Thanks, you guys.